UIM Class 1 World Championship. And he is struck from behind.
Oh! Side by side, deck to deck.
It's on the pressure. Get ready for the world's most prestigious powerboat racing series, featuring the biggest, fastest and most formidable machines on water. Two-person teams will strap into a fighter jet canopy, ready to conquer the ocean and each other in a pulse-pounding display of guts, speed and endurance. Welcome to Class 1. Witness 5-ton catamarans equipped with twin turbocharged Mercury 1100 horsepower inboard V8 engines unleashing their raw power to reach mind-boggling speeds of up to 210 kilometers per hour. In this high-octane sport, the slightest misstep could spell disaster. The Class 1 World Powerboat Championship is back for an electrifying 2023 season. Prepare to be thrilled as new teams and sponsors make their mark, showcasing the remarkable growth of this sport. The 2023 season commenced with thunder on Coco Beach, hosted along Florida's stunning Space Coast, just an hour's drive from the world-famous tourist destination of Orlando. Immerse yourself in a vibrant bar and restaurant scene, soak up the glorious sunshine, indulge in miles of sandy beaches, and relish the awe-inspiring views of the boundless ocean. Experience a powerboat extravaganza as multiple classes, including the Superstock and Supercats, battle it out in a thrilling display of speed and skill throughout the entire weekend. With pulsating parties, live concerts, and some of the most exhilarating powerboat racing action on the planet, Thunder on Coco Beach promises a non-stop, action-packed weekend for all. Class 1 pushes even the most experienced of powerboat racers. One driver and one throttleman who have to work in harmony to get the best out of the boats in the toughest, most grueling conditions of any sport. With cramped cockpits which can get uncomfortably hot and speeds over 100 miles an hour, travelling over big swells and treacherous waves on open offshore waters, Class 1 is a true test for the pilots. There were 6 teams competing at Coco Beach, with both fresh and familiar faces on hand. No doubt the most familiar being the legendary Steve Curtis, the most successful Class 1 pilot in history. With his boat now known as Huski Racing, Curtis and his team are looking to defend their 2022 Class 1 title. The team took 3 wins last season, including here at Coco Beach. Honoured by the late Queen with an MBE, Steve Curtis is a truly exceptional racer, with 9 Class 1 World Championship titles to his name and holds the record for being the youngest Class 1 throttleman to ever win a title at the tender age of 21 in 1985, as well as becoming World Champion again in 2022.
This season's looking pretty good for us. Obviously, we won the championship last year, so we've got a big target on our back. We were expecting this race to be rough. Historically, it's been every year I've ever raced it, it's been rough. So some of the developments we've done, we didn't bring to this race. So we were for flatter water. So we've come here, we've done a bit of rough water development, which has helped the boat immensely. So our rough water setup's got better from last season. Our calm water setup, we haven't improved yet, but we have, between this race and Sarasota, we're going to be developing our faster water setup.
Well, I've been waiting to get back in the boat since November, so I'm glad to get another shot. So happy to be on board Huski, sitting next to the best in the world. So looking forward to another great season.
There are not 1, but 2 experienced racers for 222 Offshore Australia. The legendary Italian throttleman with countless titles and podiums to his name, Giovanni Carpitella, and veteran Australian driver Darren Nicholson team up with a combined experience of almost a century. They were sure to be a force to be reckoned with come race day.
Last season was really nice for 2 things, because for the second time we leading the Coco Beach, and then we've broken a gearbox in the last 2 laps. After that point, we discovered that our port engine was no good. I tell you many times that our port engine was no good, so we go Sarasota and Michigan City. We won because both rounds doesn't matter if the engine was finished. And St. Pete was really a disaster because after that the engine collapsed completely. We're going back with a new engine on clear water, and we won. So the performance of the boat was good. But unfortunately, the season was set up in this way.
MCon Racing are always busy every race weekend. With a team in Supercat and now racing in Class 1 thanks to Monster Energy coming on board as a sponsor, could Monster Energy MCon be one of the teams to be turning heads at Coco Beach?
Honestly, our goal, and obviously we race the Supercat boat as well. So in Class 1, you know, it's going to take some time. These guys have so much knowledge and experience. Not only is this the first time I'd ever tested the boat, ran the boat, but this is the first time I've been behind a Mercury 1100 turbo-powered engine. Everything I'd ran before had been naturally aspirated carbureted motors, so never been in it. So, you know, coming forward this season, our goal is to finish every race, and if we stumble into finishing on the podium, that's just a cherry on the top. You know, just finish every race, and that's what we're after this season.
Pothole Heroes features throttleman Johnny Tomlinson teaming up with Carlos de Quesada as driver. The 50-foot Victory-built hull won the 2021 Key West Unlimited Class World Championship with Steve Curtis on throttles and de Quesada at the helm. The boat was branded Huskyware on this outing, and it was intended to race this boat under the Husky flag in 2022. Sadly, due to health issues, Carlos de Quesada was not able to race in 2022 until the Key West World Championship in November, where he paired up with Tomlinson and went on to win.
It's going great so far. We've been doing a lot of practice testing, prior to the season starting. We believe we've got a very good boat. And this being the first race, we're excited to go out there and prove it. Our expectation this season is to win the championship. We feel like we've got a great program. We have Gary Stray as our engineer, and the crew's phenomenal. Got the best throttle man around, and I think we could win this championship.
DF Young made their Class 1 debut in 2022. This year they're back with the experience from last year in the bag and ready to put that experience to good use as they get ready for the new season. Throttleman Rich Wyatt alongside driver Hugh Fuller are keen to get the boat out on the circuit.
The goal anytime we come out is to win, and I think we can do that. Once we get some more stuff worked out with the boat, setup stuff, I think the boat will be very competitive. And we're confident in the flat and rough water with it, so I think it's a good all-around boat, and I think we're going to do well. My driver, it's good. We've raced before in Unlimited, so we know each other. We work well together in the cockpit. Kind of know what he's going to do, knows what I'm going to do. So just getting back at it. So it's not a brand new thing. Just kind of getting reacquainted.
We want to win it all. This was a test day today, so hopefully we're a lot better tomorrow. We'll be more competitive tomorrow.
Making their Class 1 debut is Team DeFalco, with New Yorker owner-driver Mike Falco alongside veteran throttleman Chris Hadley in their 48-foot outer limits boat.
I think the goal is always to be at the top. Realistically, I think if we're in the middle of the pack, we'll be happy. I mean, we've still got a lot of work to do to the boat. So yeah, we're a long way off. I think where we need to be. We're getting closer, but realistically, if we're in the middle of the pack somewhere, I think we'd be pretty happy with that. We're always trying for number one. That's the goal.
But just to finish in a sport like this is an accomplishment.
With the circuit for Thunder on Coco Beach running right along the shore, fans have the opportunity to experience the thrill, the power and drama of Class 1 racing up close and personal.
Race course today here, it's a little bit longer than we normally run. It's like a 6.9 mile lap. We have a big 4-buoy turn on the north and south end, the dog leg on the outside leg when we're heading south. It's a clockwise course. Coco Beach is always rough. It looks a little calmer than we're used to here. We've had some pretty rough water races here. So we're going to go out and find out because we haven't been out yet. So we'll get some testing done this morning before pole position, and then we'll know exactly what we have.
Before the racing could get underway, there was the small matter of qualification, the pole position session. For qualification, each team completes 2 laps. Once those laps are in the bag, the boats wait and can take another lap if they wish. With position to the first buoy key, a good qualification can make or break your race weekend. The final pole position results will determine the starting order for all participating boats in the race.
I would say today's pole position is very important for us because it's how you do, where you get the line up for the race. It really matters in calm water or calmer water more than in rough water, so we really want to get a good position. And today's, whoever wins pole position is going to be the guy who gets the best setup. And we're going to go out there this morning, give it our best shot, try and get a handle on the water, where the sea's coming from on the actual course. Come back, make some decisions with the team, we'll have a debrief, then do our setup for the pole position this afternoon.
The one we have fitting now, I hope so, because the waves, as I saw, is coming up, and then we need to stay stable and with the propeller in the water more time we can, and accelerate between buoy and buoy on the turn, because it's that 2 very wide turn. So between the buoy and buoy we have to accelerate.
DF Young were first to go and ended up in a solid 3rd place with a 3:39.77 on lap 2. DeFalco put down a 3:39.94 on lap 1, but suffered from mechanical problems on lap 2. Their time was good enough for 4th. 222 Offshore Australia set a blistering time on lap 1 of 3:34.66. Huski were close on lap 2 with a 3:36.9 and waited around thinking about going out for a 3rd lap. With 222 and Huski going for another lap, we had a giant battle for pole position. 222 couldn't better their first time, so it was all eyes on Huski to see if they could grab P1. Despite a smooth run, they couldn't beat 222's time, so it'd be 222 Offshore Australia who take pole in Coco Beach, Huski Ice Spritz in P2 and DF Young in P3.
Straight line is not difficult to manage for me, but he drive hard, really hard in the turn. We take not a lot of risk, but some in the turn, because when you're going in 130, still 130 on the first turn is hard. Because if you sometimes arrive at big waves and it's difficult to manage. He managed very well, and I think we have the pole position for the turns.
This morning we tested at 10 a.m. Got the boat all set up for the water conditions. Unfortunately, it flattened out a little more than even expected. We were able to still qualify 2nd. So all smiles from the Huski team. We'll get ready to make a few changes for tomorrow and put this boat up front.
Pothole Heroes ended up in 5th, Monster Energy MCon in 6th to round out the grid. With those grid positions sorted, it was time for the racing. The first Class 1 race of the 2023 season was about to get underway. The teams worked hard on gear and prop setups until minutes before the start of the race. With conditions looking calmer than last year, we could be on for a close one. It was all eyes on 222 Offshore Australia as they had their coveted pole position. Could they make it count and take the lead and hold off the fast-charging boats behind?
Our expectations for the race would be to hopefully the start's nice and fair and everybody gets away cleanly. To get to the starting first corners in good shape, in the right position, everybody holds their lanes. If that happens, it should be interesting after that.
On P2 is Huski Ice Spritz, just over 2 seconds behind the best qualifying lap of 222 Offshore Australia.
Well, the setup's changed a little bit from yesterday. The weather seems to have come down, and we think we went a little short yesterday, i.e. we didn't have enough top speed, so we've counted for that, counted for the wave height coming down a little bit, so hey, we can only wait and see.
Behind the Huski boat is DF Young in P3, just under 3 seconds off Huski's pace in qualifying and looking to turn in a strong performance in the race.
Our setup is set up for a little calmer conditions yesterday, still to be a little bumpy. We're going to still have some rollers, I'm sure, when we're turning out, but hopefully a little calmer than yesterday.
DeFalco will be starting P4, right in the middle of the pack, as the debutants look to impress in their first outing in Class 1.
We're trying to go as quick as we can today. It's looking like it's going to be flat, so we need to go for some speed, but we just don't want to push it too far and be too slow on acceleration. So I think we're going to run pretty much as we were yesterday and see how we fare. But we're just, like Mike said, we need to get it finished today. We've got to get points on the board, so we'll push as hard as we need to. If we're close, we'll push a bit harder. If we're not in the mix at the front, we'll just hang back a bit and go for the finish.
This circuit is notoriously rough, but not today. Relatively calm conditions on Florida's Atlantic coast meant today could all be about top-end speed. The drivers and throttlemen entered the cockpits, finished their final preparations and checks. Now it was time to focus on the challenge ahead. Spectators lined the beach in anticipation of the drama ahead. With the boats out on the water for the parade lap, a chance to familiarise themselves with the course and water conditions, as well as warming up their engines. With the parade lap complete, the boats lined up for the rolling start. Monster Energy MCon watching for the green flag to drop. And here we go, the 2023 season is underway. We ride on board with 222 Offshore Australia from the start, with all boats side by side, heading towards the first buoy. The rooster tails are up as the boats find top speed, with 222 in the lead just ahead of Huski Racing in second. Running in third is DF Young with DeFalco and Pothole Heroes side by side. And bringing up the rear is Monster Energy MCon. The drivers and throttlemen are dialed in, with all of the boats looking fast on this opening lap. 222 lead into the first buoy, where all of the boats have to stay in their lane through this first turn. The onboard shots show just how close the boats are to each other, trying to avoid the rooster tails of the boats ahead. We're on board with DF Young passing DeFalco. Now we have Pothole Heroes in third, with DF Young in fourth. 222 with the advantage. They have the inside line and clean water, and have now pulled 3 of 4 boat lengths ahead of Huski Racing in second. DeFalco start to make a big jump as Myrick Coyle of Monster Energy MCon looks out of the window to check on his rival. 222 now clear in the lead, with Huski in second. 222 are pushing hard, taking advantage of their straight line speed. They take a flyer, but manage to keep it under control. At the back of the field, MCon is in 5th, with DeFalco in 6th, with the distance between the two boats increasing. Huski Spritz are still in 2nd place, but 222 still have the better speed and are well clear in 1st place. Meanwhile, MCon are pushing hard, trying to catch DF Young. We're on board with Monster Energy MCon as they are charging, aiming to make the move on DF Young. MCon make the move and it sticks. They take the position from DF Young. 222 are still leading. They have clear water in front of them in the relatively calm conditions here at Coco Beach. The number 1 qualifiers have taken that pace from yesterday and brought it to race day, carrying some impressive speed. On board again with DF Young as DeFalco pass them on the outside. 222 continues to lead, the boat running smoothly thanks to the skills of Nicholson and Carpitella. They're in a race of their own right now. Huski Spritz continue to chase but remain in 2nd place. Pothole Heroes are in 3rd as they complete the first lap. Monster Energy MCon are currently in 4th place in the first outing for this boat. DeFalco looking slow right now, potentially a mechanical issue for the team who are in 5th place. Huski Spritz looking good, great acceleration out of the turns. Pothole Heroes in 3rd are close, but then we see that acceleration of Huski and they pull away from Pothole Heroes. And problems with DF Young. They're off the pace and look like they have a mechanical issue and are out of the race. A big shame for Hugh Fuller and Rich Wyatt. And not long after, more problems, this time for Monster Energy MCon. They're slowing down and retiring from the race. Not the start to the season Myrick Coyle and Tyler Miller would have wanted with the new boat. With Monster Energy MCon and DF Young out of the race, DeFalco are up to 4th. Meanwhile, Huski Ice Spritz are pushing hard. Steve Curtis not letting up on that throttle as they chase down Carpitella and Nicholson, who still lead in 222 Offshore Australia. Huski making up a little bit of water on the race leaders. Both boats looking smooth and fast in the opening round of the season. Who is going to go on and take the win? 222 continues to lead, being chased down by Huski Ice Spritz in 2nd, Pothole Heroes in 3rd, and DeFalco in 4th. With just 4 boats left in the race, the battle is on for the final podium places as we enter the business end of the race. Any mistakes or mechanicals now could cost a team big time. 222 can feel the heat from Huski. It's full concentration from Carpitella and Nicholson. They've still got the speed. They know the boat has been performing well all weekend at Coco Beach. But these experienced racers will be aware of the quality of Curtis and Lilly, who are at the limit trying to catch them. Class 1 is often a war of attrition, and with Monster Energy MCon and DF Young out, DeFalco are running in 4th place in their UIM Class 1 World Championship debut. 222 are still in 1st place with Huski hunting them down. Pothole Heroes in their championship debut are holding on to a podium position as we look at the flat-out Huski boat from the helicopter. Pothole Heroes continue to run in 3rd as Carlos de Quesada and Johnny Tomlinson try and catch up with Huski. Huski are pushing and the gap to 222 in the lead is getting smaller. Steve Curtis is not letting up on the throttle. Britt Lilly looking for that flat water to find every bit of extra speed they can. Back on board with race leaders 222 Offshore Australia. They're holding off the challenge of Huski. 222 comes around and completes another lap and takes the white flag. We're on to lap 9, the last lap. Can 222 see it home from here and take the win in race 1 of 2023, or can Huski finally make the catch? Huski have found a real turn of pace over the last few laps, and that could have 222 worried. 222 have the clear water ahead, but do Huski have a trick up their sleeve on lap 9 as thunder on Coco Beach builds to a thrilling conclusion? Huski Ice Spritz know it's now or never at Coco Beach. 222 are on the limiters. There could be an issue as Huski start to make their move on the inside, and it looks like there is a technical issue for 222. A tough break for Carpitella and Nicholson. They took pole position, have led from the start, and now lose the lead on the final lap. Huski Ice Spritz take the checkered flag and win here in Coco Beach. A dream start to 2023 for Curtis and Lilly. 222 crossed the line in 2nd, having had enough of a gap over Pothole Heroes, who finished 3rd. Curtis starts his search for a 10th world title in fine style, picking up the 20 points. 15 go to 222 Offshore Australia for 2nd, 12 for Pothole Heroes in 3rd, and DeFalco grabbed 9. DNFs for Monster Energy MCon and DF Young.
It burned the core.
You're here, so don't forget about the fire. Way to hold us for the last 30 seconds, bud.
From the beginning, man, he got a little jump on us, and Steve just said we have to keep the pressure on him all day, start to finish, and it worked out for us.
Yeah, I mean, we got a great bunch of guys worked on the boat, you know, and it was really attrition today because you were running. We were flat out the whole way. They were moving us all over the course. We tried to go on the inside, we would hook it up, and get into trouble. We just said, look, if we keep pushing them,
Inside, outside, inside, outside. I mean, anywhere we could go.
It was like, in Formula One, if you just keep pushing them with the tyres and the tyres, eventually one of you is going to wear your tyres out, and they wore their tyres out before we did.
Well, it was an epic race. I'm stoked.
We're increasing our lead lap by lap. So we stretch 3-4 laps we pushed a little bit more to increase in the gap. And then unfortunately the last lap was the last lap I saw the flag. We stay with the throttle like at 70%, 80%, something like that, to don't stress much, watch the water pressure, watch the boost pressure, RPM, everything to don't make any mistake. And then when we arrive on the last turn, we have a small misunderstanding with the Falco, and so I had to drop back the engine on the last second, and we go outside in the line. When I push down, the engine f***ed up. That's it. Fortunately, in one side, that we are very close to the finish line, and we are able to close in the second place, which is good.
Curtis and Lily take their place on the podium and celebrate with the rest of the Huski Ice Spritz team. A job well done. That concludes a dramatic opening round of the 2023 UIM APBA Class 1 World Powerboat Championship. We'll see you in Sarasota for round 2. UIM Class 1 World Championship. And he is struck from behind.
Oh! Side by side, deck to deck.
It's on the pressure.